California just banned one of the chemicals in the most popular flour brands in the United States starting January 2027. The EU, UK, Brazil, Canada, and over 40 other countries banned it years ago. The FDA has not meaningfully reviewed its safety since 1973. Here are the 10. This video covers two separate problems in the flour aisle. The first is potassium bromate, a dough conditioning agent the International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies as a Group 2B possible human carcinogen, banned in over 40 countries, and now banned in California starting January 2027 under the California Food Safety Act, AB 418. The second is chemical bleaching using chlorine gas and benzoyl peroxide, also banned in the EU, UK, China, and Turkey, but still permitted in the United States. Both chemicals appear on ingredient labels if you know where to look. Both affect the flour sitting in pantries across America right now. Brand 10 to stop buying: Aldi Baker's Corner All-Purpose Flour. Aldi's Baker's Corner All-Purpose Flour is a bleached, enriched product with no published transparency about which bleaching agents are used. Aldi does not disclose whether it uses benzoyl peroxide, chlorine gas, or a combination of both. A 2025 peer-reviewed study published in Food, Nutrition, and Health by Springer Nature documented that bleaching agents degrade vitamins E and A, generate carcinogenic free radicals, and leave residues linked to liver damage and chronic inflammation. The EU, UK, China, and Turkey have all banned bleached flour because of this documented mechanism. The United States has not. The enriched designation means the milling process first strips the grain of over 30 naturally occurring nutrients, then synthetically refortifies the flour with 4 to 5 synthetic vitamins. That is not the same nutritional profile as the whole grain that entered the mill. Brand 9 to stop buying: Great Value All-Purpose Enriched Bleached Flour. Walmart. Great Value is Walmart's private label and one of the highest volume bleached flour products in the United States. Walmart does not disclose which specific bleaching agent is used or which mills produce it, meaning there is no consumer-facing information beyond the bleached label on the bag. The enriched bleached formula strips the bran and germ from the wheat kernel, removing the fiber, natural vitamins, healthy fats, and minerals that whole wheat contains, and then adds back synthetic versions of 4B vitamins and iron at levels that partially compensate for the stripped nutrition. This is the baseline compromise all enriched bleached flour makes, and Great Value sells it at the highest volume with the least sourcing transparency available. Brand 8 to stop buying: Martha White All-Purpose Enriched Bleached Flour. Martha White is a J.M. Smucker brand historically associated with Southern baking. The all-purpose enriched bleached variety uses chemical bleaching agents to produce the white appearance that defines its positioning. J.M. Smucker, which also owns White Lily, has not disclosed the specific bleaching agents used beyond the bleach designation on the label. A consumer purchasing Martha White for its heritage associations receives a product treated with chemical bleaching agents banned in the EU and UK. The Southern baking heritage the brand markets predates chemical bleaching by decades. Brand 7 to stop buying: White Lily Enriched Bleached All-Purpose Flour. White Lily is the most recognizable name in Southern biscuit flour, and for decades operated as a regional institution before being acquired by J.M. Smucker. The product is bleached with chlorine gas, which is the most aggressive of the flour bleaching agents and is specifically banned in the EU, UK, China, and Turkey. Chlorine gas bleaching partially breaks down the starch structure of the flour, modifying proteins and lipids in addition to whitening, producing a softer, lower protein flour that is the source of White Lily's reputation for tender biscuits. The 2025 Springer Nature study specifically documents that chlorine gas bleaching degrades vitamins E and A, generates carcinogenic free radicals, and leaves residues linked to liver damage and chronic inflammation. The U.S. permitted chlorine gas in flour under a 1914 Supreme Court ruling establishing that toxic additives were legal if not immediately harmful. That ruling is now over 100 years old. Brand 6 to stop buying: Swans Down Enriched Bleached Cake Flour. Swans Down is a B&G Foods brand and one of the most widely used cake flours in American home baking. Cake flour is bleached with chlorine gas because chlorine changes the protein structure in a way that produces a more tender, fine-crumbed cake. The lower protein content and modified starch structure that makes Swans Down perform the way it does is achieved directly through the chemical process that the EU and UK have banned from their flour supply. Swans Down has been sold for over a century as the standard for American layer cakes. The chlorine gas process that makes it perform was never reviewed by the FDA using modern carcinogen evaluation methods. Brand 5 to stop buying: Softasilk Enriched Bleached Cake Flour. Softasilk is a General Mills product using the same bleached cake flour model as Swans Down, with chlorine gas bleaching producing the fine white low-protein flour that makes tender cake layers. It is one of the two dominant cake flour brands in the United States, and both share the same documented chemical treatment profile that the EU has specifically excluded from its food standards. General Mills produces unbleached versions for EU and UK markets where bleaching is not permitted, confirming that the bleaching is a market choice rather than a production necessity. No public commitment exists to remove chlorine bleaching from Softasilk for the domestic US market. Brand 4 to stop buying: Pillsbury All-Purpose Enriched Bleached Flour. Pillsbury All-Purpose Bleached Flour is one of the two best-selling retail flour brands in the United States and one of the most purchased baking products in American grocery stores. The product is bleached with benzoyl peroxide, a free radical initiator that the same 2025 Springer Nature study documents as generating highly reactive benzoyloxyl radicals during decomposition in the flour, interacting with vitamins, proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates in ways that reduce nutritional value and produce oxidative byproducts. Benzoyl peroxide is banned in the EU and UK specifically because of this documented mechanism. Pillsbury is a General Mills brand, making General Mills the manufacturer of both top retail bleached flour products in the United States. The company makes no bleached flour for EU sale because bleaching is prohibited there. It sells bleached flour domestically because the FDA has not acted on the research that drove the international bans. Brand 3 to stop buying: Gold Medal All-Purpose Enriched Bleached Flour. Gold Medal is the most recognized flour brand in the United States. The bleached all-purpose product uses benzoyl peroxide bleaching, and like Pillsbury, the company produces unbleached versions specifically for EU and UK markets where chemical bleaching is banned, confirming the bleaching is a domestic regulatory choice, not a production necessity. General Mills has not committed to removing chemical bleaching from Gold Medal for the domestic market. The frequency of use and the volume sold domestically makes it the largest single source of chemically bleached flour in American home kitchens by market share. Brand 2 to stop buying: Pillsbury High-Gluten Bromated Flour. Pillsbury High-Gluten is a commercial flour used in bakeries, pizza shops, and bagel production across the United States. This product contains potassium bromate directly on its ingredient label, confirmed in a 2026 analysis by Yeah That's Kosher, which documented Pillsbury High-Gluten as one of the two dominant bromated flours used in New York bagel production. Potassium bromate is classified as a Group 2B possible human carcinogen by the IARC. The New Jersey Department of Health Hazardous Substance Fact Sheet states it has been shown to cause kidney, thyroid, and gastrointestinal cancer in animals. It is banned in the EU, UK, Canada, Brazil, China, India, and over 40 other countries. California's AB 418 bans it from all food sold in California, effective January 1st, 2027. Every bagel, pizza, and commercial bread made with Pillsbury High-Gluten contains this compound. Brand 1 to stop buying: Gold Medal All Trumps High-Gluten Flour. Gold Medal. All Trumps is the most widely used commercial bakery flour in the United States and the #1 entry on this list. The ingredient panel lists potassium bromate directly, confirmed in the 2026 Yeah That's Kosher analysis of New York bakery flour sourcing. General Mills produces an unbromated version under a green label for buyers who request it, confirming the alternative exists. The bromated version remains the default. Gold medal all trumps goes into the commercial bread, pizza, and bagels made at restaurants, delis, and bakeries across the country. When you eat a bagel from a New York bagel shop or a slice from a commercial pizzeria, the probability that the flour contains potassium bromate is not small. It is the standard. The FDA has not meaningfully reviewed this compound's safety since 1973. California has already acted. The rest of the country has not. Safe brand King Arthur Baking Company. King Arthur Baking Company has made a company-wide commitment published on its own website. Never bleached, never bromated. Every King Arthur product is free of potassium bromate, free of chemical bleaching agents, and third-party, non-GMO certified. King Arthur has maintained this standard while General Mills continues to produce bleached and bromated versions for the domestic market. It is available at virtually every major grocery chain at prices comparable to Gold Medal and Pillsbury bleached products. Safe brand Bob's Red Mill unbleached all-purpose flour. Bob's Red Mill produces its all-purpose flour without chemical bleaching or potassium bromate. It is widely available at Whole Foods, Target, Sprouts, and most major grocery chains. The employee-owned Oregon company has built its entire brand identity around minimally processed grain products with transparent ingredient sourcing. Bob's Red Mill unbleached all-purpose performs equivalently to bleached flour in most recipes, with the full carotenoid nutrition intact that bleaching destroys. Safe brand Arrowhead Mills organic all-purpose flour. Arrowhead Mills produces USDA certified organic all-purpose flour, and the organic certification is specifically relevant here because the National Organic Program prohibits potassium bromate, chemical bleaching agents, and synthetic additives in certified organic food production. A flour with the USDA organic seal cannot legally contain the chemicals covered in this video. Arrowhead Mills is available at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and Amazon. Drop a comment and tell us which flour has been in your pantry, and subscribe. Because we are running the same label check across every major grocery category, so you always know what the chemicals on the ingredient list are actually doing before you bake with them.